Hi, this is Heidi from E&E Patterns with a video tutorial for you on how to hide the sleeve seam allowances into the lining of your garment. Start with a garment with a lining and your sleeves. Lay the sleeve flat, right sides together on the main fabric and pin at the shoulder seam of the main fabric. Note that I have measured and marked 1.5 inches or about 4 centimeters from each underarm edge. We're not going to be stitching there. So pin all the way around the sleeve just to the main lining, or the main fabric, sorry, not the lining, and leave that 1.5 inches free. So here we have the main fabric facing down, lining is up, and you can see the sleeve has been sewn to the main fabric, leaving that open edge there. I've done both sides and we're ready for the next step. Now you're going to grasp the shoulder seam of the lining and match it to the top center of the wrong side of the sleeve. Keep holding onto the shoulder sleeve and lift the lining and swing it around so that you can match the right side of the front lining, the arm side of it, to the wrong side of the sleeve cap. So that's the right side of the front lining to the wrong side of the sleeve cap, and pin it at the top of the shoulder seam and continue pinning all the way down half of the armhole edge. Now you can see you've got your previously made stitches all the way down to that 1.5 inch opening, and you're going to be sewing just to the right of the original stitches, so closer to the raw edge, and just start at the top there at the shoulder seam and stitch all the way down directly to the right of the original stitches. So now we've done our stitching, left that open edge still. You can pull out your pins and then pull it to the right side. You're going to turn the lining out so that the lining's right side out. So now half of it's done, and you can see that on half of it we have the seam allowances are hidden in the lining, and you're going to do the other side the same way. So take the seam allowance of the sleeve and you're going to pin that to the right side of the lining on the remaining half that hasn't been completed yet. Notice how the main fabric, of course, is coming along with the sleeve, but you're only going to be stitching actually on the seam allowance of the sleeve. So none of these stitches are going to show on the main side or the main outside of the dress. So pin at the top of the seam, the shoulder seam again, and down the remaining armhole edge. Pinned all the way down, leaving that opening again at the bottom. And once again, you're going to stitch on the right side of your original stitches, the side that's closest to the raw edge. Stitches have been completed here, and you can pull out your pins and turn it right side out and admire your completed hidden seam allowances. Right side, and there's the inside. Okay, so now it's time to sew the side seams. So you're going to pin your lining side seams together, their right sides together. Pin it all the way down, stitch on that one side, and then repeat on the other. Then pin your underarm seam right sides together and sew. Repeat on the other side as well, so both underarm seams are now sewn. And it's time to do the main fabric, or the outer fabric. So match the one side of your outer fabric side seam, and then pin and stitch all the way down the side seam, and then repeat on the other side as well. And this, of course, is right sides together. The last step to completing this sleeve construction is to close up the hole at the underarm. Everything else is sewn. We've got the side seams all done. So what you're going to do is, with the lining faced out, you're going to lift the lining up out of the way and match it to the main fabric side seams and the underarm sleeve seam. And you'll have all those side seams up at the top, and you'll want to open up your seam allowances and lay them flat, match them all, and then pin through all the layers. So now the opening is completely pinned, and you're going to sew in between your original stitches and repeat on the other side. So now you're completely finished this process, and you can continue finishing up the rest of your dress. Thanks for watching.